You know how we do when we have funky music in our ear. We get to writing, ain't no fighting, we just in there trying to win. Ooh yeah, la-di-da, we grinding hard. Ooh yeah, we not gonna stop. Yeah, 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 yeah. Too late to turn back now. I got work to do. On a mission, by my business, I'm pushing through.
Hello, I'm Antoine Jackson here.
I'm Nicholas Austin Holiday.
We're with Between the Classes magazine, Hurricane Florida State Edition, Rivalry Week.
Showtime.
Yeah, let's
I've been waiting for this game all season.
Yeah.
November 15th,
Yeah.
primetime game.
Yeah.
8 o'clock is going down.
ABC.
The whole country's going to be watching this. So, let's get into the game. Let me grab this over here. So, what are you thinking about this game? This is the big game right here. What's UM 6-3?
6-3.
We all know Florida State is currently undefeated. So, I think what the nation wants to see is they want to see if Florida State is for real, if they deserve to be undefeated, and they want to see if UM is back.
Well, this is what's going on right now. Florida State fans have been very disrespectful. Rightfully so, I would guess. They got a Heisman quarterback, it's top notch. Jimbo. They've beaten Miami 4 years straight. Miami just got finished with the sanctions. They say the recruits at this game will be from 2015, 16, and 17 recruits. Top notch. These are the recruits of the recruits at this game. Really do a coach make sure they call out the 3 classes, 15, 16, 17. It's a lot of legacy on the line. This is not a regular game. This is a game where Miami's trying to get back into national prominence. Florida State is already at national prominence, looking to go into the playoffs, looking to build on a national championship season. Right now, a lot of people saying Hurricanes are old school has-beens, Floridian law, things to that nature, so rightfully so. Duke Johnson is ready for this game. He got hurt against Florida State last year. He's had to wait 365. Games in Miami, Saturday night. Could be interesting.
You know what? Jameis Winston didn't have the greatest game against Miami last year. He threw for over 300 yards, but he had a couple of big picks. But you know what? I mean, he threw some good touchdowns, so he evened things out. But he didn't have the best game. He said he came out a little too hyped up, for the rivalry, and he made some bad plays. But Jameis Winston has been a little up and down this year. He has more interceptions this year than he had all of last season.
But there's been rumblings saying I've heard one receiver say that it's going to get back to the regular Florida State offense Saturday. And I've heard Jamie say he's going to cut down. I don't know if it's fans or somebody. I don't know if it's folklore, rumors. I don't know. Somebody's saying the guy saying they're going to come out 21-0 and just run the ball the rest of the game. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't think James has said it, but then again, you never know. This could have been said, and they, sometimes these guys make sure they want this put out there. So it's going to be interesting. Florida State fans are already penciling themselves in the playoffs. They're in the 14. I say, wait a minute now. Since when have you guys just said you're just going to be in the 14 playoffs? Like, we're not on the schedule now.
They're riding a 25-game winning streak right now. Not this exact team, but as the program, they're riding a 25-game winning streak.
It was a nice streak.
This current team is undefeated. So, you know what? I think a lot of fans you got to think about it. There's a lot of new fans that came around last year, so they haven't experienced losing as a Florida State fan. Part-time fans. Yeah. But you know what? They're going all in for the team.
Yeah.
So, come on board. Ride the wave right now. I think we should go, let's do maybe position by position breakdown, kind of just delve into the game a little bit deeper and, what we think about some of the players.
Well, as far as position by position, definitely we can do that. We're going to start at the quarterback position.
Let's start at the quarterback position.
You guys have Heisman, Jameis Winston.
everybody knows about redshirt sophomore Jameis Winston. Won the Heisman Trophy last year. Set a bunch of national records. Pretty much won every award that a player can win.
Famous Jameis.
In college football. We all know about Jameis Winston's off the field issues. From the infamous crab leg incident to the screaming of the vulgar phrase in the student union. But you know what? When Jameis Winston gets on the field, he gets into the zone. He becomes a different player. You know, out there, he's a clown. He likes to joke around a lot. But when he gets in that field, he becomes a completely different person.
Well, the funny thing about my quarterback, Brad Kaya, California kid, true freshman, I wouldn't trade him for Jameis, personally. I mean, a lot of the guys are like, are you crazy? Jameis is great. He had a great performance against Louisville. I mean, let's not doubt that. But Kaya has 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. His numbers are better than Ja'Cory Harris and Stephen Morris already. You know, that's a Kane fan. It's like, oh, my gosh. You know, definitely because, you know, we had a couple of kids who, not saying they weren't good, but they would definitely they like to take chances. Kaya checks down a little bit more. He goes to the tight end. Looks a little bit smoother back there a little bit. You know, his longest touchdown of the year was a 79-yarder. You know, he's cutting down on the interceptions a little bit, trying to see what this guy can do. You know, they have famous James who call the kid Kaya the Messiah.
I call him by Felicia because that's who his mom is.
His mom is Felicia.
But you know what? I think that Brad Kai's gonna be a really good quarterback for you.
My boy the real deal, man. My boy Kaya the real deal, and I think a lot of people think it's a game. But this kid didn't just come from California to Miami to just lose to Florida State. He came on a mission to knock this off. You know, that's what he's in Dade County for to beat Florida State. Let's be real.
But you know what I wonder? I wonder Kaya's had 7 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the last 3 games.
How do you know this?
I know this.
Watching my boys like this.
Got to keep an eye on and see what's going on down there in Coral Gables.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? I'm curious to see, because the last 3 teams, you know, definitely not knocking them because they've handled their business, but the last 3 teams they played have been fairly weak.
No defense. Well, I mean, haven't been known for the defense. Carolina, no. Cincinnati, definitely not. And V-Tech, you know, I don't know what's going on right now, but they got Buddy Foster, but they're not the same. But we pretty much, that game was over at halftime, though. But
most definitely.
The only thing I can say in defense of Miami is they did what they had to do.
Oh, no doubt. And that's where I believe that they've been able to lean on Duke Johnson so much. Don't forget, Duke Johnson put up 250 yards on V-Tech. And he's gone, over 150 yards in every game, the last 3 games pretty much?
Maybe more than that. Carolina gave him like 170, Cincinnati got like 165, B-Tech got like 250. I mean, before that he had a couple games where he had 90 and 90, you know, with the Louisville and Nebraska. He was around the area, but that's when teams were going down in the box and just stacking on us, and, you know, he still was getting 90.
And you know what?
So
Duke Johnson is he's a rare talent at running back. Probably the best running back Florida State will see all season. I don't know who they're going to run into in the playoffs.
Yeah, you never know.
But, you know,
there you go again. There you go again.
I don't know who Florida State's going to run into in the playoffs, which is me stating that Florida State's going to make it to the playoffs.
You see, this is where the line, and this is why. But go ahead, you know.
But you know what? Duke Johnson is definitely the best running back that they would have seen, and the best running back that they will see in the regular season. So, and possibly the best running back they'll see all year.
But the thing is about Duke at the tailback position, I try not to be biased because I'm a Hurricane fan, but with Duke, it's hard to explain what I see when this dude plays. He's number 8, and as far as the moves, the speed is kind of, I can't, as far as Hurricane running backs, and I've seen some greats come through. Man, Duke is close. Duke is 250 yards away from the all-time league record, and he has not been playing like that. Duke was hurt a couple of games. Well, he first of all, he didn't finish last year. I don't even think he finished his freshman year, honestly. He didn't go to no bowl games his first 2 years. A lot of these stats, these guys have these stats with bowl games included. This man is 250 yards away from breaking this in 3 years. I mean, his first carry as a freshman, he went for like a 60-yard touchdown against Boston College. A memorable moment in Hurricane history. I mean, I think he might be one of the best running backs I've ever seen come through Miami. You know, that's saying a whole lot between Willis and Frank and But I don't know if I've ever seen his style is very distinct. He has a style I haven't really. Like, I don't know who he get these moves, where he get this style from, but he has a style. I still can't put a finger on it.
His cutback is something of beauty.
I think it's his vision or something.
When he presses that line and he cuts back, it takes him a couple of steps. That man's at full speed, and you can say bye-bye to him. If he hits the crease on you off that backside, the linebacker's up and catch him. You better hope your safeties are fast enough, because Duke Johnson outrun all of them.
But a lot of people say he hasn't done it against a top team. And I'm like, this is still Division I football. What do you guys think? This is the globe. What do you think this is? The ice cream truck bandits or something like that? This is D1. They're not ranked. This is D1. This is Division I. What are you talking about? This man gave VTech 250. Who else has done that?
I think that Duke is gonna get his yards against Florida State. Put it like that.
Frank Beamer said that's the best season I've ever seen.
You know what? I'm not gonna just flat out say he's the best I've ever seen, but if I have to come out with a top 5, Duke Johnson will probably be in there.
They might get mad at me when I say this, but I think they don't get mad at me. Things like a fast Barry Sanders, personally. I mean, that's just me.
Ooh. You putting him on the level of Barry Sanders, huh?
He's a fast Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders, one of the all-time greats, arguably the best running back in the history of the NFL.
I just haven't seen nothing like this guy. I don't know. I've seen Duke several times. I don't know what am I looking. I'm like, what is this guy?
And Antoine Jackson is saying that Duke Johnson is possibly a faster version of Barry Sanders. I'm not saying it. Antoine Jackson's saying it. I just want to point that out, that Antoine Jackson is saying that about Duke Johnson comparing him to Barry Sanders.
I just hoping my boy can stay healthy. Hopefully Duke can stay healthy, but yeah.
It's gonna be,
I mean, I don't know. Don't get mad, but yeah, that's how that boy is. And he can catch.
Definitely, I seen them utilizing him more out the backfield.
Boy got hands. He got hands now. Don't let the linebacker get caught up on that. Okay, let's race.
So we touched on Duke Johnson. Florida State has a couple of a few very talented running backs.
Yeah, Carlos.
They use more of a committee by approach. They don't have a running back that gets 25, 30 carries a game.
Y'all got animals back there.
So Carlos Williams is the starting running back. 6'1", 225, physical freak of nature. He doesn't have, as good as he is, as fast as he is, and as physical, he doesn't really have the feet in the hole to me where he can just. I've seen so many plays this year where he's been a shoelace away from just breaking 60, 70 yards.
I mean, let's be real. The scary thing I remember Carlos, his freshman year, ran a kickoff back on Miami and called it back. I remember that. So I'm not.
That was a bad call, refs.
I'm not immune to what this guy can do. Florida State's running backs remind me of like a pack of hyenas. Just 3 hyenas back there, menacing, terrorizing it. Come out at nighttime. You know when they coming and mean business. They might not get 30, 40 carries a game, but they are very effective. Pender is very effective. He's been rested up for the past month.
Don't forget, I'm about to say he's coming off the high ankle sprain.
I know this guy. He got banged up against Clemson, so he's hungry. He ready to get playing time. He's a different type of back. You got Dalvin Cook, the Ferrari, blazing speed. If he get the edge,
true freshman.
Oh man, if he get the edge, you can't cancel it. And then you got Carlos coming with the pound game. So the running backs that y'all have now, I don't think that Duke is the only running back in Miami because we got Gus Edwards, who he's been improving lately. He's probably the biggest of all the backs. I think he's probably him and Carlos. How much Carlos is about 225? You said
225.
I think Gus is probably about 230, 225, maybe 2. Okay. I think Gus is but Carlos is definitely faster. Floridian. Gus is from New York. He's a different, but he's a unique type of back. He grinds it out, but deceptive speed. And if he can get out, he's not gonna go down with one tackle. I don't know if he hasn't seen a unit like Florida State per se. Okay. On a regular basis, guys that's really that love to hit the bigger, slower guys. Florida boys love to tee off on those types.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, he running in the mud. Let me hit him. They love to hit the dude running in the mud. Tee off on him. Oh, he's a big boy. Let's go lay him down. Floridian law. That's how it goes. So he's not too big to get hit. Matter of fact, we want to hit him. So he has to be ready to make sure he got it. Because he's going to come out of ball security. And we got Joe Yearby, the freshman who was in high school with Dalvin Cook. He's ready to help put his name out there. People know him.
Out of Central High School.
Yeah, some
Miami,
people are
Florida.
saying that Yearby isn't as good as Cook. Maybe in high school it was Yearby, but now it's Cook. But little Joe is still out there like, hold up. Little Joe's still on the block, so he's doing his thing. So Joe Yearby, tough guy. I like his winning style. He's not gonna get as many carries because he's playing behind Duke, but he can catch out the backfield. He kind of reminds me of Penn a little bit with those moves too.
Most definitely. But you know what? In the grand scheme of things, if I have to give an edge to one of the position groups, I'm going to give it to Miami. Because, you know what? When Duke is your starter, you can't really go wrong with that. I guess if I had to go with proven depth, I might go with Florida State.
Yeah.
But if I have to go with one player, I'm definitely going to go with Duke on that one.
But I think a lot of people in the state of Florida know that whatever running backs are at Florida State, it's not your regular running backs. You probably got like 2 or 3 Ward Dunn type. Pender is a Ward Dunn type. Cook is a Ward Dunn type. Empley, get a cut. I'm out of here. So we know what's going on is the edge. Definitely got to get edge to the quarterback with Jameis. Even maybe receivers. We got to probably, y'all got Rashad Green over there. Florida State all-time lead receiver. We have Dorsett. Deep bomb specialist. He's with the bomb team, squad.
And they actually play together at St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah.
So they're definitely going to be looking to prove. I mean, they're not playing against each other on the field at the same time, but they're definitely going to be looking to prove something when they line up against the other team's defense.
You got a lot of high school alumni probably watching that game, and Phillip and Rashad and Phillip and the Eagles. Not bad things, but they know they're going to see each other again. So these guys really want to get this win. As far as the defensive line, they probably got to give you guys the edge with D-line with Goldman and
you know what? Coming into
Mario
this season,
and championship experience.
The depth was hurting Florida State a little bit on the D-line, but all-world defensive end Mario was Jr., as you talked about.
The dancing bear.
Eddie Goldman in the middle.
The other dancing bear.
Who they pretty much, Mario Edwards was already pretty much a lock for the first round whenever he comes out. Eddie Goldman has worked his way up, and now analysts are talking about him as the second best defensive tackle in the nation right now.
Well, Mario Edwards and Eddie Goldman, they're like the two kids that used to be in the movies, the two brothers, the big heavy set brothers that played on. That's it. Mario Edwards and Eddie Goldman. When they come on the scene, as these two big, huge guys, and they're probably bigger than your parents. So if they catch you alone, it could get ugly. So these two guys are pretty good. Eric Flowers, he's an offensive lineman for Miami, one of our best left tackles. He's coming off injury. I don't think he'll be playing against Florida State. He's practicing in pads, but I don't think this is a game to, test that gimpy, whatever it is. You need to have somebody with some legs. Not saying Flowers isn't good enough. I know he wants to play this game, but we had a bye week to try to get healthy. But you had surgery on the torn meniscus. You got to kind of try to let that heal on its own because there's more to just this game. You got a career down the line. You want to let this heal up. It's okay. But as far as the Miami offensive line, it's going to come between our O-line against you guys. I know you guys still have Matt Thomas playing on a high rate. You guys have
yeah, you're right. Matt Thomas, he's coming back. He was injured.
getting in the groove.
He had some injuries. He was suspended earlier in the season. He's coming back.
He's coming around. He's coming home. So,
but right now, Reggie Northup, a name which you're familiar with, who was actually committed to UM and flipped. He's actually leading Florida State in tackles right now with 72 tackles. So they call Reggie the robot in the middle, and when Reggie hits you, Reggie hits you.
Well, we got our own robot in Denzel. You ever heard of Denzel? And I'm not talking about Washington. We call him the president.
Denzel Perryman is one of the best middle linebackers I've seen.
My boy Perryman's been bringing that. Now you want to talk about some wood? Let me tell you about Denzel Perryman. Who was number 52? When he hit you, ask Nick O'Leary know about Denzel. That year Nick O'Leary caught his little pass and tried to jump in there. Okay, spit it up.
Speaking of, I'm glad Nick O'Leary decided to stop jumping and drop his shoulder.
Yeah, he never jumped again after that.
Stop jumping.
Spit it up. Now, I did see Nick O'Leary body slam your boy from Louisville. I don't know what that was all about. I'm surprised they didn't fight after that.
You know what?
You don't slam nobody like that.
You know what?
Somebody child.
Nick won the belt, WWF champion of the world after that slam.
It wasn't belly to belly. It was belly to back.
Suplex.
Suplex. The suplex. Suplex is legendary. You get suplex. You know what that means. The suplex. That's how that happens with the suplex. So that was interesting. But let's talk about tight ends. Who has the better tight end? You guys or us? Who has the better tight end?
Well, I mean, Clive Walford he's so physical. He's so big.
His stock is going up.
Stock
is going up right now.
It's kind of different. I can't. Nick O'Leary, he's about 6'3" in that 240 to 245 range. Nick O'Leary currently has 364 receiving yards, a couple of touchdowns. So but Nick O'Leary's a possession type of tight end. He's not a tight end that's going to stretch you out down the field. I think Clive Walford is more of a tight end that stretches you out down the field.
Clive can move the chains. Because he likes to go to Clive, so he has to watch out because they know that's his security blanket.
Yep, safety net.
So you got to go to. But he's utilized, which Kai has been Clive Walford's best friend. Clive is getting touchdowns. Clive maybe has 4 or 5 touchdowns in a year. He's looking like one of the better tight ends in the ACC. Nick O'Leary, he won that award for the best tight end last year, correct or no?
Yes, he did win.
Nick O'Leary got it last year. This is teams are game playing a little different with Nick, because there's Rashad Green is not just him, there's no Kenny Shaw, and the other top receivers are freshmen and things of that nature. So teams are gaming around Nick. They're double teaming them, they're watching them. James likes to go to Nick and things of that nature also. But Clive Walford is definitely making his name in the defensive coordinator's room. Watch 46. They get in the red zone. He can run. He was a former basketball player. We've seen a lot of these former basketball players coming to turn to tight ends, and they'd be pretty nice tight ends at that too.
And I think that Clive Walford could potentially have a big game against Florida State because Florida State's linebackers have struggled in coverage this year. Reggie Northrup, Terrence Smith, who was actually leading the ACC in tackles before he went down with the injury. He was averaging a little over 10 tackles per game.
He'll be back this week, right?
He'll be back. He had a little cut on his leg and had to get that fixed up.
Tell him put the Band-Aid on it.
Some
mud, a little bit of mud on it.
Rub a little dirt in it.
Dirt and mud. You'll be all right.
But I think, I think if they scheme and they use Clive Walford, I think he can have a big game against Florida State's linebackers because they definitely struggled in coverage all year.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see about this. With Kai, the main thing is he needs protection. He's a freshman. Mario Edwards Jr. already said they're going to try to hit him a lot early and often to rattle him. Because you don't want... I know I don't need my quarterback taking shots like that. So I know my offensive line is definitely going to give blood and guts to protect Brad because it seems like a team they really genuinely like Brad. You can tell you don't want to hit Brad like that. You can tell this is the future of our program. We don't need him taking shots because we know if Florida State can get a chance to take a shot, they're going to take a shot.
No, most definitely.
And the same thing with Jameis. Now, if Jameis thinks he's going to sit back and make sandwiches all day, he got a little thing, because we run the 3-4 defense over there. We got big Michael Weiss over there clogging up the line. We have a Chad Thomas, a freshman, coming in. We got Calvin Hurdeloo coming in. He's been a pleasant surprise on defense. We got Chicolo made some noise last week. Tyreek McCord trying to make some noise. These guys they came in with a lot of hype. That kind of, maybe not as hype as Reggie Northrup, but Tyreek McCord and Chicolo, All-Americans, things haven't really been going the hurricane way, but these guys are just true Canes. Because to come to Miami right now, in those times, that lets you know they really were Hurricanes. They didn't just, they could have went to maybe the Florida States and the Floridas and Georgias and Texas and USC's and played, but they wanted to come to Miami with all the sanctions. So with that being said, the D-line situation, Florida State has a lot of Division I guys with a lot of NFL first-rounders, but a lot of Miami's top guys are young, I think. And I think Chicolo will find a way to play on Sundays, too, though.
Yeah, he's a high-motor guy. I don't think he really panned out the way the fans expected him to, or the coaching staff. But he's a high-motor guy. He hustles. He gets after the play.
I like Chick. Chick is he's like I said, he's a hustler. He's not going to quit. It finally came around this final year as far as him making some plays, some sightings. But, Chicolo get around and get a hold of you. I remember the year that Florida State Florida State and he were going at it in the game. And I don't know what that was all about, but I don't think Chicolo's forgotten about that night. And,
Chicolo went for a little eye gouge in that game.
Yeah, the Nick accuses Chicolo going for eye gouge. I didn't see that.
It's just something I noticed. You know what? From my angle,
I didn't see it.
I think I saw a little cheap shot, but
I didn't
you know
see
what?
that.
You know what? It happens in the game.
I didn't see that. I know Chicolo was very upset after that. Who knows? But it's going to be interesting. This game is going to be very interesting Saturday.
I'm curious to see because Florida State has struggled some in stopping the run this season up the middle. I want to see Florida State, they're typically running their 4-2-5 defense, so they're really running their nickel a lot of times with two linebackers. I'm interested to see if they're going to bring in a 4-3.
Yeah, I'm going to stack the box.
Yeah.
I know Florida State, they're going to stack the box.
I want to see if they're going to do a 4-3 or maybe a 3-4 and bring some bigger bodies in because you got to stop Duke.
I don't know if y'all can just. I mean, I think with Jimbo, knowing Jimbo, because Jimbo's slick with it, we're going to probably bring in and stack the box, but then also be prepared to have something also in place to stop Kaya too, because Jimbo's been watching enough film to know that we can't just stack the box on this kid now. But what you did in the first half of the season is not what's going on right now. Even with Georgia Tech, the best thing what Kaya did was keep us off of the field. The defense couldn't really stop their offense. They grinded, they ran the ball. We got the ball 3 times in the second half. You can't win if you don't get the ball. They didn't really stop Kaya. Kaya just didn't have the ball. You can't do nothing if your offense not on the field. Nebraska, Louisville, even though the Nebraska game, we were in the game. We were in the game the whole time. Kaya did not have a bad game. We lost, but
it's Amir Abdullah.
Freshman. Amir Abdullah, and freshman. Playing in Lincoln, Nebraska, freshman playing in Louisville on the road.
Tough environment.
Even Jameis caught, had to go through adversity in Louisville for a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Granted Louisville didn't have the Devontae Parkers and Michael Dyer playing also, but it's still Division I football. You got plenty of Florida boys on your team. That's enough. That's all I need to know. So,
I'm interested to see. I want to see how Florida State secondary how they're gonna game plan against UM receivers. We have they came into the season all world cornerbacks, Ronald Darby and PJ Williams, and they haven't played up to exactly what people thought they would come into the season. Don't get me wrong, they both came in with hamstring injuries, so they've been nicked up a little bit all season. So I really want to see how they're gonna cover with Dorsett. You got Herb Waters out there. You still got Stacey Coley, who I guess he hasn't performed on the level that everybody thought he would after his freshman campaign, but he's a dangerous weapon still.
Well, yeah, he's going through a little sophomore. They say sophomore slump. As long as Stacey does not fumble, but I love Stacey at punt return. I keep him back there. It's a threat. Keep everybody on their toes. And anytime they fall asleep, we got somebody that can break it. So he's getting everything situated. It'll be a matter of time before it happens. I want to see him get some of those deep bombs how they give it to Dorsett now. Coley has had a couple chances to catch a couple bombs. I know he dropped one, definitely. I haven't seen him drop many, but he definitely dropped one going to the house. Let alone Dorsett too slightly, but we know what Coley did. It's too much TNTs. He's like TNT. You cannot have that on the field because he's a threat. Like you go to sleep if you want to. He hasn't had a touchdown yet this year either. He's hungry to let him put his name. Traditionally, any player who has a big game in this game, guaranteed first round pick. That's always been the situation. If you have a good game in this game, you go first round every time.
Okay, so we'll wind this down a little bit. Give me your 3 impact players for UM, and then give me your 3 keys to the game for UM to come out with the win.
Well, my impact players, I'm going with Deion Bush, safety for Miami.
Good
Number
player.
2, I'm going with Duke. He's gonna be that's a given. And I'm going with Brad. Brad Kaya. I'm an offensive type of guy, but Deion Bush is going to be back there seeing some things. We need to have that defense consistent because let's be honest, Florida State has an explosive offense, and they're going to look to try to put up points, and they're going to look to try to put up points in a major way. I think one of the keys are going to come down to our offensive line versus the defensive line. Florida State defensive line is very aggressive. They're going to try to rout him my quarterback. They're going to try to make it miserable for him. They're going to try to embarrass him on TV. That's what they're going to do and tell him good game after the game. But we're not going for that. You're not going to come with this, embarrass us, and then after that tell us good game. That's not the situation.
Like last season.
Yeah. Whatever he has to say. That's not the situation. You're not going to come keep talking this nonsense. I need my offensive line to come to play. I need my defensive line to put on pressure. If my defense can show Florida State, we're not going to sit back and let you guys dictate what's going on, it'll be nice. But it's kind of hard because Jameis has seen every defense in America. He's seen the blitz. He gets the ball out so fast, you don't even know the team is even trying to blitz. But I don't know if Jameis has seen any boards like this, right? I don't think he's seen anything like this before.
Big words.
I don't think he's seen this.
If I have to go with my 3 impact players for the game, I'm going to go with the offensive line. I'm counting that as one person. Yeah. They have to block better for Jameis Winston. They've given up a lot of pressure, especially up the middle. Redshirt freshman center Ryan Hofeld has been, he's been playing admirably, but he's giving up pressure up the middle. But the 5th-year senior center who broke his arm will actually be back for this game. I don't know how much he plays, Austin Barron, but he'll be back for this game. But they have to block better for Jameis Winston. They got to give him time to do his thing. Jameis can't be Jameis if he's on his back every play.
Did y'all lose any O-lineman from last year? Or no?
The center, the only offensive lineman we lost was center Brian Stork, who's actually starting with the Patriots as a rookie. That's how good he was. Yeah. And that's how good he is. So Florida State, even with Austin Barron and Florida State struggled, especially up the middle, but Brian Stork was a special player. When you lose a player like that, your team's going to take a step back. So first I'm going to go with the offensive line. Second, I'm going to go with Mario Edwards Jr. I don't know who you was going to have playing at left tackle, but Virginia's left tackle was out last week, and Mario Edwards Jr. racked up, I believe, 9 tackles. I had a couple of sacks. Forced a fumble.
That side was collapsing all night. He was all over. I seen that. I didn't watch much, but when I did see it, Dancing Bear is what I call him.
So I'm interested to see who Miami's going to have on up at left tackle. If it's Eric Flowers, that might not be a good look because Mario Edwards, I believe, is going to run all over him.
Oh, he's going to try to put pressure on that leg. He's going to try to hurt him.
And Mario's been injured, and Mario's just getting back healthy, and he's looking just as dominant as any other player in the nation right now.
He doesn't care right now.
So, and my third player, I'm going to go with Jalen Ramsey. He's a safety / nickelback / star player. He blitzes off the edge a ton during the game. The guy, number 8, just look for number 8. He's all over the field. He's played great. He's only a sophomore. He was actually brought in by Jeremy Pruitt from Tennessee. So I'm interested to see, can he get pressure on Kaya? He can cover slot receivers. He can drop back and play safety. He blitzes. He's really starting to learn a position. I feel if he can have a big game, have some big stops like he did, the last few weeks, that he could be a game changer for Florida State's defense.
It's going to be interesting. We got Denzel Perry.